Alright, I want to do a video here on the flat earth. It's getting a lot of attention nowadays. And basically there's tons of videos you can go through. So I'm not necessarily going to break down every single proof or point, because I think this is such a big lie, and it's so obviously a lie, that to even debate, I mean, it has its place, but really to debate with people who, after taking a re-review of this earth shape or whatever you want to call it, to debate it gives them validity. It never had validity. It only had validity in your child's mind. And you were taught this globe from a child. But wise people, even thinkers, always, at least I know in my mind, question this thing. All the way up until a week before I really found out or realized that it was flat, I was still questioning things like, why do people stand upside down in Australia, South Pole, whatever. Oh, the water thing. Basically, okay, so it says gravity holding water in. All right, so you might just go on about your day with that bullshit. But the whole thing about people not standing upside down is kind of weird. There's no scientific name that they give you for that effect, that where everyone stands upright at the same time, yet we're on a ball which you would say, if they have the South Pole and the North Pole, then there must be some type of up and down or whatever you want to call it. But see, that we're not going to even debate those minor points right now, because the earth is flat. How? Because you can go stand outside and the sun is above your head. The moon is above your head. Until someone told you that the sun was 93 million miles away, and that's just your optical illusion. They're really playing you for a fool. This is why it's kind of like, why debate it? Because you're giving them validity. They have none. They want you to debate them because they're shysters. They're con men. This is a scientific con that they're playing on the masses. It's very dark too, and they know it works because, see, we're basically subjects. We had to go to their school. They own the school system, everything. So they really own. See, this is more than people say. Oh, religion is controlling people. Science is also controlling people. This cosmology they give you, which is actually a form of religion, because cosmology goes into spirituality. So basically, again, the earth is flat. This is not a debate. Like, anybody leaving comments want to debate this stuff, they're just parroting things from their ego. So this is a high altitude balloon shot, and basically these guys, they send these balloons up. This is at 121,000 feet, and clearly you can see the earth is flat. You've been taught to perceive, no, right here it drops off. No, if this was a ball and you were this high up, it would go down. It would curve downward because you're in a ball. What ball do you know continues to increase its level as you go up? This is a flat plane. Now, of course, then you got a program response. Well, if it was flat, wouldn't I just fall off? It can't be right. But ask yourself, if it was round, wouldn't you fall off too? Like, that doesn't invalidate just because you don't know. You see what I'm saying? You see that they know how the human mind works. They know how the average person thinks. It's like most people are just gonna stop there and go back to the preconceived notion, which was indoctrinated to childhood. This is why, like I said, I don't think debating every little point does us any service. Because really, what did it for me, now there's a guy, Eric Dubé, he has a good channel about his flat earth videos. I mean, just look at this. It's flat. You see, the only reason you think it's round is because of NASA, basically. Because this whole theory of heliocentric, it was never really proven. They give us this fairy tale of Christopher Columbus in 1492 sailed the ocean blue. It's a setup. It's a myth. It's a setup. It's to get you to believe in it, and you can't be blamed for believing in it necessarily. But I know at least a percentage of people always had doubts and questions about this spinning ball theory. So I just want to break down a few points here I will go into as far as NASA. Because if you can break down NASA in your mind, then you'll really get it. So this is the first administrator of NASA, and as you can see here, Following graduation, he became associated with the newly developed sound motion picture industry. So basically, and during his career, he was studio manager Paramount Pictures and Samuel Goldwyn Studios. Basically, this is like people always say, the government and how they would work together. It's actually true. I don't want to say the government, like everybody's involved, but basically, I mean, but they work together. This is culture. It's called culture creation. This is their culture. They see this is how they look at it. The people. This is how they create culture, mythos, cosmology. It's their society. It's the news. It's fear based. It's every culture has to have. The culture is always given to the people, and this is the culture we're given. Because you can see they don't just have you in the have your body. I mean, they got to have your minds too, and this is a part of it. And this is the big lie. And so a lot of people think this is conspiracy theory, but they don't realize, men do get together and plan strategically chess type moves on the minds of people. I mean, if you think that conspiracy theory, I mean, basically you just sound like a dumbass. You just sound like a simpleton because you can't see how people could do that because you can't. Yeah, they do this. So like I said, they work together. So when you see stuff like this is animation. This is Hollywood and NASA working together. This is animations and CGI. This is cosmology based on fiction. None of this stuff is real. These galaxies, this stuff is all fake. This is CGI. This is just pretty pictures. And we got a whole generation of people worshiping this stuff. Everybody's worshiping galaxies and superimposing the spirituality upon this cosmology that was given to us by Disney and NASA. It's fake. So how do we know it's fake? How do we know the earth is flat? Well, let's back up. First of all, every ancient culture knew that the earth was flat. We could go into some cosmology. Let's see. Just look up ancient cosmology. Now, a lot of this is from Hebrew Bible, because the Bible mentions the earth is flat. If you look at all these pictures show a flat earth. With the dome, the Bible mentions the dome, the firmament. We'll get to that. Here's another. With the dome, the layers of earth, the 7 earth, there's different planes. See, we live on a plane. See, and see, our culture is so, like, I know a lot of these guys, what's on the edge? What's, like, you're thinking too physically. You're getting kicked out, like, you're missing out on the whole point. Because, see, that was the whole point of this, this model here is basically they're atheistic. Now, I'm not coming from the point of view of a fundamentalist Christian, but they are right on the fact that they are trying to take out the magic in it, or the deific intervention in it. The thing is, some people who are innately spiritual were always able, even with this model, they were able to impose spirituality on it. So they would say the sun is the creator, the one creator light, the galaxy is the creator light, and all this. So we created a whole religion out of this fake cosmology, yet and still, even though the point of them doing this was to get you to think more materially, more insignificant, the point was to get you basically humans to feel more insignificant, random. This is socioeconomic engineering. And if you listen to some people's comments, you could tell it worked, because people say things like, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. We're insignificant. We're just one of these billions and billions of stars." And blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, and that's basically, yeah, true based on what you've been indoctrinated to. See, it's working on the mind, because that's the ultimate goal. But the people who committed this lie, they know that the earth is flat, because they followed the Bible. Matter of fact, they claim to be inheritors of the Bible, chosen people of the Bible. So they know the earth is flat. Because in order to tell a lie, you have to know the truth. They know the earth is flat, and they can't get past this firmament, this dome. So these are a lot of the from the flat earth maps that have been circulating around because of this new upsurge in the flat earth theory. These are more scientifically based, but they're pretty much to the point. I mean, it's basically a flat earth. But again, this is looking through the eyes of just trying to prove it scientifically. Like, there's always been flat earth maps. But again, The ancients already knew this. But see, when they speak about it, they speak through right brain and left brain, or spiritually and physically, because they know this is not just a material thing. When you start talking about planes and domes, you're automatically you're talking more directly about a deific force, a deific. I mean, it's automatic, because then you start getting into astronomy or whatever you want to call it at this point. So people said, how does this, it moves the sun and moon, they move over the earth. I mean, it's that simple. And it said it's at the North Pole, there's some type of magnetic mountain, which is probably the case. It's on a Mercator map. You can Google this stuff, which either refracts these off the dome to create these holographic suns or moons. But you don't have to go that far. They could really just be light bodies, or whatever you want to call them, luminescent beings, bodies that rotate. This is all magnetism. So, again, Earth is flat. Like, there's no question. And remember, your eye can't see forever. So people say, why can't I see the end? That's silly. Like, this is why this lie sticks, because they know the average person is not going to be able to think past their idiotic reservations. And just because you've been conditioned, you ask these like these silly questions, like you can't see forever. There's atmosphere, this air that hazes it. You can't see. But clearly this is a flat plane. If you think this is a curve, you're really just a slave mind. And so we wonder why this lie gets over so easy. Like, it's just because, see, this is really just a experiment in social psychology. The Earth is flat. Like, there's no debate. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we even have to pick apart these points at this point, it's just sad, because there's nothing that tells you this thing is a globe spinning. So if you Google for any pictures of the Earth, this is what you'll get. CGI. This is all CGI, 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 CGI. The only one that they claim is real is this one. And this is from Apollo 17. This is what they say is from Apollo 17. But this is fake. This is camera tricks. Now this will convince me too for the longest, but the more I studied it, looked into it, I'm like, okay, this is a camera trick. Now, how do we know they use camera tricks for this stuff? There's this video here put out. I'll just play it.
America becomes invisible beyond the Terminator.
This is from Apollo 11. Supposedly, they're on a capsule, and this is supposedly of the Earth. But watch, this is footage, raw footage of them inside, and basically they're faking this, where it looks like the Earth to the average eye. It's like, okay, this Earth, okay, I'll go back to what I was doing. I see it's a globe. But the whole point of this mission was to prove heliocentricity correct, which they knew was false, which is why they're faking this whole thing right here. So basically they're in this capsule, and they're supposedly taking footage of the Earth from far away, and if you keep watching here, she's going to show you this is real actual footage of them shooting this. Now here's a work lamp from inside the capsule. So they're using some type of prop to give it this shape here. Let's see, now they're moving things around, and basically
the iris is opened up, and you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth.
Here we go, the lights come on, and see they're just floating in this capsule. I'm not sure if they're in a zero-G plane or tank.
And the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July.
See,
and then the 20th.
They're basically showing you how they get that the camera's far away, and they're using props here, like this some type of shade. I mean, they're really playing with people's mind. So that's just to show you, they will fake these type of things. So that's not a conspiracy theory. That's obvious. But see, these are all CGI. So this is the big lie you got to get out of your head. This is the one to get out of your head.
Theory of the International Space Station. Now, I absolutely had to make this video tonight. It's not an experiment, but
significant random. This is socioeconomic engineering. And if you listen to some people's comments, you could tell it worked, because people say things like, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. We're insignificant. We're just one of these billions and billions of stars." And blah, blah, blah. So I mean, and that's basically, yeah, true based on what you've been indoctrinated to. See, it's working on the mind because that's the ultimate goal. But the people who committed this lie, they know that the earth is flat because they followed the Bible. Matter of fact, they claim to be inheritors of the Bible, chosen people of the Bible. So they know the earth is flat. Because in order to tell a lie, you have to know the truth. They know the earth is flat, and they can't get past this firmament, this dome. So these are a lot of the from the flat Earth maps that have been circulating around because of this new upsurge in the flat Earth theory. These are more scientifically based, but they're pretty much to the point. I mean, it's basically a flat Earth. But again, this is looking through the eyes of just trying to prove it scientifically. Like there's always been flat Earth maps. But again, the ancients already knew this. But see, when they speak about it, they speak through right brain and left brain, or spiritually and physically, because they know this is not just a material thing. When you start talking about planes and domes, you're automatically you're talking more directly about a deific force, a deific. I mean, it's automatic because then you start getting into astronomy or whatever you want to call it at this point. So people said, how does this, it moves the sun and moon, they move over the earth. I mean, it's that simple. And it said it's at the North Pole, there's some type of magnetic mountain, which is probably the case. It's on a Mercator map. You can Google this stuff, which either refracts these off the dome to create these holographic suns or moons. But you don't have to go that far. They could really just be light bodies or whatever you want to call them, luminescent beings, bodies that rotate. This is all magnetism. So again, Earth is flat. Like there's no question. And remember, your eye can't see forever. So people say, "Why can't I see the end?" That's silly. Like this is why this lie sticks, because they know the average person is not going to be able to think past their idiotic reservations. And just because you've been conditioned, you ask these like these silly questions, like you can't see forever. There's atmosphere, this air that hazes it. You can't see. But clearly this is a flat plane. If you think this is a curve, mind question this thing all the way up until a week before I really found out or realized that it was flat. I was still questioning things like why do people stand upside down in Australia, South Pole, whatever. Oh, the water thing. Basically, okay, so it says gravity holding water in. All right, so you might just go on about your day with that bullshit. But the whole thing about people not standing upside down is kind of weird. There's no scientific name that they give you for that effect, that where everyone stands upright at the same time, yet we're on a ball which you would say if they have the South Pole and the North Pole, then there must be some type of up and down or whatever you want to call it. But see that we're not going to even debate those minor points right now because the Earth is flat. How? Because you can go stand outside. And the sun is above your head. The moon is above your head. Until someone told you that the sun was 93 million miles away. And that's just your optical illusion. They're really playing you for a fool. This is why it's kind of like, why debate it? Because you're giving them validity. They have none. They want you to debate them because they're shysters. They're con men. This is a scientific con that they're playing on the masses. It's very dark too, and they know it works because see, we're basically subjects. We had to go to their school. They own the school system, everything. So they really own. See, this is more than people say. Oh, religion is controlling people. Science is also controlling people. This cosmology they give you, which is actually a form of religion, because cosmology goes into spirituality. So basically, again, the Earth is flat. This is not a debate. Like anybody leaving comments want to debate this stuff is they're just parroting things from their ego. So this is a high altitude balloon shot, and basically these guys they send these balloons up. This is at 121,000 feet, And clearly you can see the earth is flat. You know, you've been taught to perceive, no, right here it drops off. No, if this was a ball and you were this high up, it would go down. It would curve downward because you're in a ball. What ball do you know continues to increase its level as you go up? This is a flat plane. Now, of course, then you got a program response. Well, if it was flat, wouldn't I just fall off? It can't be right. But ask yourself, if it was round, wouldn't you fall off too? Like that doesn't invalidate just because you don't know. You see what I'm saying? You see that they know how the human mind works. They know how the average person thinks. It's like most people are just gonna stop there and go back to the preconceived notion, which was indoctrinated to childhood. When you were this high up, it would go down. It would curve downward because you're in a ball. What ball do you know continues to increase its level as you go up? This is a flat plane. Now, of course, then you got a program response. Well, if it was flat, wouldn't I just fall off? It can't be right. But ask yourself, if it was round, wouldn't you fall off too? Like that doesn't invalidate just because you don't know. You see what I'm saying? You see that they know how the human mind works. They know how the average person thinks. It's like most people are just gonna stop there and go back to the preconceived notion, which was indoctrinated to childhood. This is why, like I said, I don't think debating every little point does us any service. Because really, what did it for me, now there's a guy, Eric Dubé, he has a good channel about his flat earth videos. I mean, just look at this. You know it's flat. You see, the only reason you think it's round is because of NASA, basically. Because this whole theory of heliocentric, it was never really proven. They give us this fairy tale of Christopher Columbus in 1492 sailed the ocean blue. It's a setup. It's a myth. It's a setup. It's to get you to believe in it, and you can't be blamed for believing in it necessarily. But I know at least a percentage of people always had doubts and questions about this spinning ball theory. So I just want to break down a few points here I will go into as far as NASA. Because if you can break down NASA in your mind, then you'll really get it. So this is the first administrator of NASA, and as you can see here, following graduation, he became associated with the newly developed sound motion picture industry. So basically, and during his career, he was studio manager Paramount Pictures and Samuel Goldwyn Studios. Basically, this is like people always say, the government and how they will work together. It's actually true. I don't want to say the government, like everybody's involved, but basically, I mean, but they work together. This is culture. It's called culture creation. This is their culture. They see this is how they look at it. The people. This is how they create culture, mythos, cosmology. It's their society. It's the news. It's fear based. It's what every culture has to have. The culture is always given to the people, and this is the culture we're given. Because you can see they don't just have you in the have your body. I mean, they got to have your minds too, and this is a part of it. And this is the big lie. And so a lot of people think this is conspiracy theory, but they don't realize, men do get together and plan strategically chess type moves on the minds of people. I mean, if you think that conspiracy theory, I mean, basically you just sound like a dumbass. You just sound like a simpleton. The magic in it, or the deific intervention in it. The thing is, some people who are innately spiritual were always able, even with this model, they were able to impose spirituality on it. So they would say the sun is the creator, the one creator light, the galaxy is the creator light, and all this. So we created a whole religion out of this fake cosmology, yet and still, even though the point of them doing this was to get you to think more materially, more insignificant, the point was to get you basically humans to feel more insignificant, random. This is socioeconomic engineering. And if you listen to some people's comments, you could tell it worked because people say things like, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. We're insignificant. We're just one of these billions and billions of stars." And blah, blah, blah. So I mean, and that's basically true based on what you've been indoctrinated to. See, it's working on the mind because that's the ultimate goal. But the people who committed this lie, they know that the Earth is flat because they followed the Bible. Matter of fact, they claim to be inheritors of the Bible, chosen people of the Bible. So they know the Earth is flat. Because in order to tell a lie, you have to know the truth. They know the Earth is flat, and they can't get past this firmament, this dome. So these are a lot of the from the flat Earth maps that have been circulating around because of this new upsurge in the flat Earth theory. These are more scientifically based, but they're pretty much to the point. I mean, it's basically a flat Earth. But again, this is looking through the eyes of just trying to prove it scientifically. Like there's always been flat Earth maps. But again, the ancients already knew this. But see, when they speak about it, they speak through right brain and left brain, or spiritually and physically, because they know this is not just a material thing. When you start talking about planes and domes, you're automatically you're talking more directly about a deific force, a deific. I mean, it's automatic because then you start getting into astronomy or whatever you want to call it at this point. So people said, how does this, it moves the sun and moon, they move over the earth. I mean, it's that simple. And it said it's at the North Pole, there's some type of magnetic mountain, which is probably the case. It's on a Mercator map. You can Google this stuff, which either refracts these off the dome to create these holographic suns or moons. But you don't have to go that far. They could really just be light bodies, or whatever you want to call them, luminescent beings, bodies that rotate. This is all magnetism. So again,